Hello, guys, and welcome back to my yearly series of me dumbly creating a bracket, acting like I know what I'm talking about when I really don't. Anyways, let's get started. We got Auburn versus whatever, Alabama State versus, I don't even know. Going Auburn. Louisville versus Creighton could be a good one, but I'm picking Creighton here. Michigan versus UC San Diego. UC San Diego's had a really good season, but Michigan did too. Both these teams won their conference tournaments. This one could really go either way, but I think I'm gonna take Michigan in this one. Texas A&M versus Yale. Wade Taylor, really good player. Yale, I don't even know who's on their team. We're going A&M. Ole Miss versus San Diego State and North Carolina. Honestly, I don't know if either of these teams should be in. Well, San Diego State should. North Carolina should not be. West Virginia got snubbed. I'm taking Ole Miss. Iowa State versus Lipscomb. Iowa State is not looking good with the players they have. Well, they're looking good, but they just lost one of their best players for the year. However, I still think they have enough to beat Lipscomb. However, Lipscomb could definitely pull an upset here. I'm taking Iowa State. Marquette versus New Mexico. Personally, I still don't know how good either of these teams are, but I'm just going to take New Mexico. Michigan State versus Bryant. I don't know what Bryant's done all year. And Michigan State. Personally, I haven't been watching them all year either, but I'm just going to take Michigan State. Florida versus Norfolk State. I think this is a pretty easy pick. I don't think Norfolk State is going to do too much against Florida. Taking Florida. UConn versus Oklahoma. This could be hard to pick against the two-time defending champs, and Oklahoma hasn't been too great this year. Taking UConn. Memphis versus Colorado State. That one could honestly go either way. It's two mid-majors. I think Colorado State could pull an upset here, though. Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Again, I don't know how good Maryland is, but I saw Grand Canyon last year, and they still have a lot of tournament experience and good players. I'm taking Grand Canyon. Mizzou versus Drake. Honestly, Drake's had a really good year, and I feel like Mizzou is overrated. I think Drake's winning that. Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington. I don't know how good UNC Wilmington is. Texas Tech's a damn good team. We're taking Texas Tech. KU versus Arkansas. Honestly, going to be a very fun 7-10 matchup to watch. Either way, that game could honestly go either way. I'm gonna take Arkansas here personally. I know I'm a Kansas fan, but I think the bias got to end because I took them way too high last year when they lost second round. St. John's versus Omaha. I don't think Omaha's taking it. I'm picking St. John's. Duke versus I don't even know what those two teams are. I'm taking Duke. Mississippi State versus Baylor. Honestly, those are both pretty good teams. But I think I'm going to take Baylor. Oregon versus Liberty. I think Oregon's a really good defensive team. I think Liberty's also pretty good, but I'm taking Oregon. Arizona versus Akron. I have no idea what Akron does. No, I think Arizona's overrated. I think they still are good enough to win this game. BYU versus VCU. I don't know. BYU's a damn good team. They should have been ranked higher. I think they take this one. Wisconsin versus Montana. I don't know how good either of these teams are. Actually, Wisconsin's pretty good. I don't know about Montana, but Wisconsin. St. Mary's versus Vandy. I don't see Vandy doing too much here. I'm going St. Mary's. Bama versus Robert Morris. Going Bama. Houston versus. I don't even know what that team is, but I'm just going to take Houston. Gonzaga versus Georgia. Battle of the Bulldogs. Both teams have shown upside, but Gonzaga won their conference tournament. I think they can take down Georgia. Clemson versus McNeese. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure how good Clemson is this year. McNeese has been a fun team to watch. Well, I don't know. But they got their cool manager. I'm taking McNeese. Purdue versus High Point. Honestly, I don't even know if Purdue's that good without Edey. I don't know how good High Point is either. I'll take Purdue. Illinois versus Texas and Xavier. I think Illinois is a good team, but there's always that bubble team that wins the first round, so I'm taking Texas. Whoever wins that game. Kentucky versus Troy. I don't know how good Troy is. We're taking Kentucky. UCLA versus Utah State. Not sure how good either of these teams are. I'm taking UCLA. And Tennessee versus Wofford. Tennessee's a pretty good team. I'm taking Tennessee. Auburn Creighton. Auburn's a pretty good team, but they've been struggling recently. But I still think they have enough to beat Creighton. I'm taking Auburn. Michigan versus Texas A&M. I don't think Michigan's got the firepower to beat Texas A&M. I'm taking A&M. Ole Miss versus Iowa State. Iowa State without, I think it's, I'm not sure it's Gilbert that's out. I don't know. I think Ole Miss is going to take them down. Ole Miss is in a really strong SEC. I think they're ballot tested. I think they have what it takes to beat Iowa State, and I think they'll do it. New Mexico versus Michigan State. I just don't see New Mexico being Michigan State. Give me Michigan State. Florida versus UConn. I know UConn's the back-to-back defending champs, but Florida seems like a pretty good team this year. I'm taking Florida. Colorado State versus Grand Canyon. I think the Grand Canyon is being Colorado State. Give me Grand Canyon. Drake versus Texas Tech. I don't think Drake has it in him to win 2 games. Give me Texas Tech. Arkansas versus St. John's. Ooh, we got a matchup. Calipari and Rick Pitino. Going to be a great matchup. It's Rick Pitino, right? I'm not sure, but I personally don't think St. John's has what it takes. Give me Arkansas. Duke versus Baylor. Duke's winning that one. Oregon versus Arizona. I think Arizona isn't as good as people say they are. I know they made it to the conference title game, but I think Oregon can beat them. Give me Oregon. BYU versus Wisconsin. The Mormons are pretty good. They can ball. Give me BYU. St. Mary's versus Bama. Bama's a high-scoring team. St. Mary's seems decent, but they lost to Gonzaga in the conference championship. Give me Bama. Houston versus Gonzaga. Truthfully, I don't know what either of these teams do. Well, Houston's a damn good team. Give me Houston. McNeese versus Purdue. I don't know. I don't think McNeese has another upset in them. Give me Purdue. Texas or Xavier versus Kentucky. Texas, I think it's going to be Texas here. Trey Johnson's a baller. Trey Johnson can ball. And now if he's on his night, I think Texas has a good shot of winning. If this is Texas, I think Texas can beat them. Xavier, I don't think Xavier would beat Kentucky. But we're going to assume this is Texas, and we're going to take Texas over Kentucky. UCLA versus Tennessee. I think Tennessee's a good team. UCLA might be good too, but give me Tennessee. Auburn versus A&M. We saw this matchup earlier in the year. I think Auburn has revenge in them. Give me Auburn. Ole Miss versus Michigan State. I think that's where Ole Miss's run comes to an end. I think Michigan State has a pretty good team. Give me Michigan State. Florida versus Grand Canyon. This is, again, I think this might be in a Grand Canyon Cinderella story. I think they're a good team. I think they'll make it this far, but I got Florida. Texas Tech versus Arkansas. Another double-digit seed's going to drop here. I don't think Arkansas can beat Texas Tech. I think they're a good team, but I think Texas Tech's also really good. Arkansas has the potential to beat them, but I think Texas Tech's going to take it out. Duke versus Oregon. Duke with Cooper Flag is going to win the whole thing. And I like Oregon defensively, but I think Duke's going to win. BYU versus Alabama. I don't. Alabama, if they're on their game having a good shooting night, they can beat anyone. If they're off, I don't think they can win. Give me BYU. Houston versus Purdue. I don't know what Purdue's done this year. Give me Houston. Texas or Xavier versus Tennessee. We're taking Texas. We're just going to say this Texas, but I don't think Texas beat Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. Auburn versus Michigan State. I think Auburn's run honestly comes to an end here. Michigan State's a pretty good team. Give me Michigan State. Florida versus Texas Tech. Honestly, I think Florida's run comes to an end. I think Texas Tech's a really good team. I think Texas Tech will take it. Duke versus BYU. BYU's a really good team. They've proved it. But I just don't think they're being Duke. Duke with Cooper Flag, I think, is winning it all. Houston versus Tennessee. I don't see Tennessee winning this one. They're pretty inconsistent, but you never know. Give me Houston. Michigan State versus Texas Tech. That could be a fun one. I think they played in the Final Four like 5 years ago. But anyways, actually the same seed lines too, I think. But I don't know. Give me Texas Tech. And then Duke versus Houston. I don't think, with how good Houston is, LJ Crier's a really good player, but I don't think they're beating Duke. Duke just has a really good team. Give me Duke. And then the championship, again, I think Duke's just too good. Give me Duke. And then how many points will we score in the championship game? Give me 174. Done. Submit. And there we go. Thanks for watching.